Hi, I am Amanda and welcome to my show Analytical Library. In this show I bring forth to you some of the most regarded yet unsung books, not known to the limelight. Let us look at some of the unsung books of this ages. Like an illustrated novel universe. Illustrated novel universe are just like DC and Marvel universes, but doesn't come completely under the comic book category or in the novel category. It comes under the illustrated novel category. Illustrated novels are some of the most interesting section of books, most preferably teen and young adult with gripping character plots that caters the expectations of a movie, which is also preferred for the school English books to read. Earlier staged as a play to get the idea of a duration, then written as a novel. Some of the known illustrated novels that were turned into movies were Scarlet Pimpernel, Robin Hood, Wizard of Oz, etc. Yes, these were illustrated novels that made into Hollywood. Unlike many other the novels that made into Hollywood like The Psycho or The Time Machine, Gone with the Wind, Edge of Tomorrow, or Divergent series. The illustrated novels had the treatment of a movie or a TV series embedded in the books. Let us look at the recent illustrated novel that recently got recognition in Comic-Con. The GC Universe. GC stands for Grounded Characters Universe. You ask why? Because these characters are grounded to their roots that forms the basis of the fiction, defining a practically believable, realistic world. The characters are blended with supernaturalism to real-world scenarios. The GC Universe, recently recognized by Comic-Con on a very short notice. Days before the Comic-Con India was held, inviting to stage their brands, have published over 20 illustrated novels. Launched in the year 2020, first book nominated for Goodreads Choice Award 2020. Ranked 21 best-selling young adult teen and steampunk fiction in 2021. Let's look at the first pillar that formed the GC Universe novels. Deceptor. Deceptor is the first among the illustrated novel. Highly inspired by Master Yogananda's word from the book Autobiography of a Yogi, which says, "Light and shadow forms the body and the entire world is formed of your dreams." Deceptor also has its own inspiration from the shadow. The 1930 pulp fiction magazines with special reference to the 1994 movie. A music video from an Indian musical movie, deriving various pinches of inspirations, the author has layered them all at various stages of the book by forming a groundbreaking base for the character and grounding to its own origin. Reading the book, I never felt like it's derived from any inspiration, because the story had its own uniqueness to it. Magical realism. Set in the early 1940s of steampunk fiction. The author had layered illusions and manipulated with series of deception with an overall delusional touch to it, to make the Deceptor story look as real as possible. The 3 books have been released with the Deceptor series, and in each book, the author reveals some significant powers and functions of the Deceptor. The Deceptor is someone who uses the power of illusions, delusions, and deceptions to manipulate the baddies to fight crime. Since Deceptor doesn't believe violence could end anything, he uses his manipulative, brainwashing powers to straighten things out. Now you must be wondering, what is the difference between illusion and delusion? Well, as quoted by the author from Master Yogananda's book, God Talks with Arjuna, author explains, individual delusion is illusion, overall worldly illusion is delusion. Example, if something happens to someone for which they worry about, you don't take it seriously. In fact, you tell them such kind of problems are normal. Delusion, but when it happens to you, you lose control of your mind and don't see the same way. Illusion. Deceptor book series talks about Neil Kamal, an Indian-born 7th-generation illusionist from Madras Presidency, India. Set in the steampunk era of 1940s. Neil Kamal travels worldwide. In quest of understanding and deepening his knowledge on illusions, delusions, and deceptions. Neil meets mind-freaking illusionist of the West, similar to Harry Houdini, fakir sages of the East. The Hogan priests of Japan, sages of India. He also meets scientists, unexplained beings of different origins, and deepens his knowledge. Mystical beings. Finally, achieves nirvana at the Himalayas. That's when he gets to know the answer is always near than far. The first book talks about such coming together of many other vital characters and their background. The origin of pivotal characters. such as Amrita Kumaran the heroine, Chief George the villain of the first volume, Ashley Wilson the emerging arch-nemesis of the Deceptor. European boyfriends of Amrita Kumaran and their backgrounds. Nothing prepares you for the supervillain of Volume 2 or the supervillainess of Volume 3. Though the first volume looks like a standalone, leaving tracks of great possibilities for the next 2 volumes. Amrita Kumaran is a filthy rich colonially influenced brashing Indian woman from Pondicherry living in the Madras Presidency working towards colonial India, literally responsible for the mind shift. Amrita Kumaran. A filthy rich classical grandeur, not a narcissist yet, because she is the fey male protagonist of the book. Highly influenced by English and colonialism. A Cambridge graduate. So sexy. And Amrita Kumaran is someone who is always in love with the wrong person. Like a brashing English lad, or European playboys. Spending too much time in the night outs and one-night stands, rave parties. Amrita Kumaran falls in love with British business tycoon young playboy, a brashing English lad, Ashley Wilson. The main antagonist of the entire Deceptor book series. She becomes his first girlfriend. Although he is not her first boyfriend. Amrita Kumaran is his golden ticket to enter colonial India and venture into the minds of Indians with his corporate strategic, manipulative intelligence. Ashley Wilson is the antagonist of the book, a filthy rich business tycoon, entering India with cosmetics, such as fairness creams, alcohols, carbonated drinks, polished rice, tobacco products. Anything and everything that is hazardous to health. Literally rewiring the Indian mindset to colonial atrocities. Another strong supporting character is Chief George, head colonial officer Madras. Chief George is the villain of the first book, though a strong supporting character acts as a negative support in the first and the first half of the third book. Why? 'Cause he's a colonial chief officer. There are wonderful plots laid by the chief to get the Deceptor with out-of-the-box investigation in a polite approach, and trapping and the Deceptor having mastered it getting away in a clean slate. As for the overall rating of the Book 1 of Deceptor, the book is a must experience much rather than must read. I definitely recommend it. See you in the next episode of Analytical Library with Book 2.